Hello everyone. Today is Friday, February 17th, 2023. My name is Shelly. This is my channel, Proverbs 31:22. This is a stitching channel, mostly about cross stitch, some quilting thrown in, as well as some other crafts every now and then. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. This is FlossTube number 120. And I'm going to share what I've been stitching over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks seems to be a good sweet spot for me with working as far as how often I film. So that's what I'll be showing you today. So I hope everybody's doing okay. Welcome to all my new watchers, new subscribers. I appreciate you all so much. I am about 25 subscribers away from getting to 600. It takes me a long time to get to each level. And so, yeah, I'm glad that whoever's here is here. And if you see things that you like, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up and share my video, all the good things that help to grow channels, grow our community, and spread the love of stitching to the world. Have you been looking at any of the Nashville Needlework releases that, are being put out there for pre-order? I was kind of looking through some this morning, and one that made me chuckle was Silver Springs Samplers. Is that the name of her company? I think so. It's introverted, and it says, it's got like a bunch of cross stitch things around it, and it says, introverted but willing to talk about cross stitch all day long, or something like that. I'll insert a picture of it here. I'll go online and find it and insert a picture of it here. I thought it was cute. There were a few other things that I saw, and I was going to go order from Carla over at Cobweb Corner, but she's on vacation right now, and when I went to, she has like a form you can fill out. I didn't see some of the things that she had advertised in her, like she's been doing some little reels per designer and showing what they have available. One of the things that I really liked was from Sweet Wing Studio. Willing Hands, I think is the name of it. I'll post a picture of it here. I like that one a lot. It's right there in that, that Proverbs 31 chapter that talks about the virtuous woman, which, we all aspire to be. Maybe not all of us, but, some of us aspire to be. And, that is my channel moniker, Proverbs 31:22, which talks about the virtuous woman and her bed coverings and being clothed in purple and fine linen. So that's not, that's been my email address for decades. So it's always been a favorite one of my verses. I've always loved purple. Pink is a close second, but I've always loved purple my whole life. I think it goes back to being in love with Donny Osmond when I was a little girl, and his favorite color was purple. So anyway, gosh, that was a really long intro. And I still didn't tell you anything else about myself. I did want to say that I'm filming from Rogersville, Alabama, and that's in the northwest corner of Alabama in an area called the Shoals. If you've heard of Muscle Shoals from the music industry, like the song Sweet Home Alabama, where it says Muscle Shoals has the Swampers, that's the area that I live in. We have a very rich musical history here. and that's where I live. So I've already done this video once, and I'm doing it a second time, so it's kind of like, what did I already say, and what did I say, and what did I say on this video? You know, if you do these videos, you know that it can be difficult, especially when you have to do it more than once. So I have gotten a new notebook to keep track of my, writing down my daily things that I want to share with you guys. Just picked it up off of Amazon. I absolutely love the colors and the flowers. And so, yeah, I'll pick that up. Now, I keep track of my stitching on a spreadsheet. I'm still doing my spreadsheet in tandem with Blitz Stitch's app, just because I'm still playing around with his app and I haven't put like all of my things in there yet. So hopefully over the next year I'll transition to using his app only to keep track of my projects. But there are times when I don't feel like counting my stitches when I'm done stitching for the day, or times where I'm just in a hurry and I just need to jot down what I did so that I don't forget. And so I'm just gonna, excuse me, bit my tongue. I'm just gonna go down my list of things that I want to share in order of date. So just so I don't forget anything. I did go through, I'm sorry, I don't remember if I shared this last time or not, but I did go down and write all of my whips and numbered them, put them in order of, put them in their categories and then numbered them. And I also made marks by it to show me if it was part of wipgo and part of Magazine Monthly Challenge and so on, just so I would know when I'm picking things throughout the years. So the only thing I don't know is how I'm going to keep track of my current count. I started the year with 66, and I just finished something, I can't remember. Oh, it was my Valentine House Trios, so yeah. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that part of it. So anyway, I don't know, did I say this is FlossTube 120? If I didn't, I meant to. So, last time I shared that I was going to start following my version of Blitz Stitch's rotation, and I have been doing that. I am enjoying it. I may do one little tweak on it, in that instead of doing my Monday through Friday pieces, I might do Monday through Thursday and leave my Fridays for stitch-alongs. There's a couple of stitch-alongs that I'm either doing or would like to do, including the one that Fat Quarter Shop is doing this month to celebrate Black History Month. It is the Stronger Together Sal. This is the 3rd year that they've done this. And I really like this one a lot. I don't know if I'm going to start it before. I'm just going to go ahead and make a decision right now. Before the end of this month, I am going to start it. I may not start it until next Friday, just because I'm not sure if I have what I need cloth-wise. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and start it because I really want to do it. And there's a couple of other things like my Jane Eyre. That way, if I have that Friday free to work on those things, I'll get some stitches in those things on a regular basis. So, and the 4 days still gives me plenty of time to work either on my focus piece or my other projects. Like Elizabeth Weston, I worked on her this week, and she's all week long. So, yeah, I think I'm going to make that tweak, and I am going to start Stronger Together sometime this month. I may start it today if I have what I need. Okay, anyway, the first weekend of my month is going to be BBD weekend sale, and gosh, I'm just like drawing a blank. I'm so sorry, guys. BBD weekend sale, to me, I usually do it the first full weekend, you know, that has a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday in it. That's the way I have been doing it, but now I'm probably just going to do the Saturday and Sunday, so it really doesn't matter. But anyway, 1 weekend a month is BBD Weekend Sale. That's a hashtag that was started by Brenda and the Serial Starter, Laura, who have their own channel here on YouTube. They started that to encourage everyone to stitch a Blackbird design at least once a month. And so the one that I'm working on right now is called Forget Me Not. And this is a piece that I am doing in honor of my mom's mom. This is a genealogy piece over in the Crafting Matriarch. They have a little, they shared an idea of doing a genealogy piece every month in honor of someone in your family. And so in January, I just started this piece for my great-grandmother. And so I got 502 stitches in it this month, last weekend, or weekend before last. And so this is a 32 count linen that I hand dyed. It might be 36. I think it might be 36. But anyway, I did hand dye it. I think it came out really pretty, just subtle. I really would like to dye fabric to sell, honestly. I mean, I don't know how I would go about it, but I really would like to, because I think my pieces come out pretty. So anyway, if I do say so myself. So I'm picking colors out of my stash. Some of what they called for I had, some of it I didn't. I'm also tweaking things as I go along. This sort of bluish green that's in these leaves, in these, the little, what's that called? I don't know what that's called on a rose, but anyway, it looked really blue to me in the pattern, and I don't remember if I picked the color that they called for or not, but what I picked was just too blue. And so I went into my Threadworks stash, which I've been adding to through Fat Quarters Floss Frenzy Club. Fat Quarters Shops Floss Frenzy Club. So I went in and just tried some different combinations and finally settled on this color Verdigris. You know, it's got that bluish tint to it, but it blended in more subtly, I guess, than the blue that I had picked out. It was just standing out too much like a blue. It wasn't blending in good. So anyway, I will work on this one every month until I finish it, you know, for the BBD weekend. And then maybe toward the end of the year, I'll pick up my last stocking that I have to finish from home for the holidays and get that done. So that was my BBD weekend over the 4th and the 5th. I did work a little bit on my daughter's quilt that I'm hand quilting. Not as much as what I want to get done as I'm getting done, but I did work on it the first weekend of this month. I didn't work on it this past weekend, and you'll see in a minute, I didn't even meet my wipgo goals. So, yeah. So I have been stitching on the mini bouquets from Jeanette Douglas. And these were free last year on her website, and I did download them all. And so our local stitching group, which is Serenity Stitchers of the Shoals, is working on this as a SAL. I think I'm the only one that's stitching on it currently. No, I'm not. I'm not. There's one other person that I know for sure. Another one that I helped get her started on it at this past meeting. And so, yeah, we're doing this for 2023. So our hashtag, if you want to join in with us, you're welcome to. It is Shoals Serenity Stitchers 2023 SAL. So I've just been working on these at lunch. Not even every day when I'm at work. Some days I don't have enough time to work. I have one late day, and so I have to work over at lunch a bit. And then we had a meeting this past week, and then, yeah, just various things. I think I worked on it twice this week, but I've only got a little bit. I've only got 2 more hearts to put in and a little bit of the little greenery. And then I will be done with February and can move on to March. I am going to cut these apart and finish them individually as little pillows or little framed pieces, one or the other. I am leaving off any extra things that she's put on the individual ones, the words and things. I don't like the way I don't feel like they're balanced, and I'm very like things symmetrical, and so the pattern's pretty symmetrical, but then, you know, she'll have, like, she had welcome on this, and I don't remember the words, was like, it was just split up really weird. On this one it had a key, an old-fashioned skeleton type key, and then on this side it had 2022 in backstitch. It just doesn't feel balanced to me, and so I'm leaving those parts off. I did change the color of the urn on this one. She had it brown and I turned it black. And I'm just picking my own, you know, colors from my stash. Some of them I'm, you know, using hers as a springboard. And I'm stitching it on 28 count Irish linen from Michaels, which is a very inexpensive and nice to stitch on option if you want to try stitching on linen. It's less than $10 for a big tube of it. And so, and like I said, it's really nice to stitch on. I do use 2 strands when I'm stitching on it, 2 strands over 2 threads on the cloth. I wish that, you know, I prefer to stitch with 1 strand, but, you know, it is what it is. I had a big piece of this and it was perfect for these, and so that's what I'm stitching them on, whether I have to use 2 strands or not. So, okay. And then my focus piece, until I'm done with it, is Bluebird of Happiness from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I'm using her called for Weeks Dye Works flosses. And I'm doing stitching on a 28 count with shelt linen and French lace, I believe is the color. Even though I normally use 2 strands on 28 count, this one I just wanted to do 1 strand. I like the coverage for some reason on this pattern. And so, you know, there are guidelines in cross stitch on what you're supposed to do, but there's no rules. There's no cross stitch police. There may be some best practices according to some people, and, you know, but there's no, if you don't want to follow that, you don't have to. And so if you want to stitch with 1 strand on something that people say you should stitch with 2 strands, you know, go for it. It's just that you have to do what looks best to you. And, you know, like I said, the other piece that I just showed is on 28 count. I'm using 2 strands. This one I'm using 1 strand. I just like the way this one looked with 1 strand. So, I had stitched part of the female, when I started working on this month. And this is the piece that I'm doing in honor of my dad for genealogy this month. Her underbelly, it kind of fades in on this fabric. You can see it in person, but it kind of makes it look like her legs are disjointed from her body, but they're not. So I didn't do their eyes yet because I didn't have one of the colors in my bag when I was stitching on it. I think I've since put it in there, but anyway, I finished the female. I did the nest and the eggs, and then I started on the male. And so this month I have gotten 1,831 stitches in this piece so far. Now on Monday I will pick it up again and stitch on it Monday through Thursday of next week. And I don't think, you know, depending on how long my sessions are, I would think by the end of the second rotation on this, I will have a finish. I should be able to finish the male next week and then start on the happiness down at the bottom. And then if I don't finish, then the following rotation, which would be 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from Monday, I should be able to finish this piece. So when I finish this piece, I'll have to decide what my next focus piece is going to be. And I was thinking about it earlier. You know, I set aside winter ABCs from Little House Needleworks just because I knew that I wasn't going to get them finished before, as fast as I wanted. I wanted to have them finished, you know, have it finished in the middle of December. And that didn't happen. So I kind of put it aside. I think I'll pull that one out so I can go ahead and get that one finished. I don't have very much left to do on it. So 1 week on that would get me done, or one, you know, stretch of 4 days would get me done on that. And then I'll have to decide what I'm going to make my focus piece next. So it's kind of fun, kind of thinking of ahead to saying, you know, what's close enough to a finish that, you know, I can make it my focus piece. And that's what I really like about this rotation, is that I'm making good progress on that one piece, and then I'll get some finishes. Now, whether or not they get FFO'd anytime soon, I don't think so. I've got several things in the wings that need to be finished, and I'm just not feeling FFOing right now. So I'm just going to keep stitching. Okay, so I talked earlier about my stash and how I'm building it with Fat Quarter Shop's Floss Frenzy Club. And you've heard me say several times over the last couple of months that I was going to keep doing that club until I couldn't do it anymore. And, you know, things change. And so even though I'm still able financially to keep doing it, I have made a change. So I think I mentioned this on last video about Christine at Stitch All the Things, sharing about the little thread shop, which is owned by Margaret Lasher. She has an eBay shop, and you can shop there. She also has specials that she runs every month on flosses, and then her prices, even when they're not on special, are pretty dang awesome. And so I did the math on it, and I came up to realize that I can definitely save money ordering from her. Now, I won't order as often as every month. I could, but I probably won't. You know, one thing, it's like I have to get them all put on different wash drops and stuff. So I might do like every month and a half, every 2 months, something like that. Because she offers free shipping over $50. And so with her special that she's running for February, which is $1.75 a skein for Weeks Classic Colorworks, which she calls Crescent Colorworks, and the Gentle Art, or had to order about 30 to get the free shipping. And so I just went down my list in my xstitch app, which is where I keep track of my inventory, and I just went down the list alphabetically. Pardon my dog, I don't know what he's barking at, but I just went down the list alphabetically until I got to the amount that I needed to get the free shipping. And so, like I said, it was right around 30 flosses. And so I did get them in. I did get them taken off those ridiculous Weeks Dye Works floss tags. And I had been writing the names, and then this time I was like, why don't you just stick the Weeks Dye Works little funky little, I hate these. I hate these. Because, I mean, if you put it on a ring, then your ring's going through this hole. You don't have hardly any room to put stuff, any extra pieces in there. And so I make these little floss tags just out of different things. I've made them out of boxes. I've made them out of, cardstock with pretty scrapbook paper. I've bought some tags off of Amazon. So I did tags from my little box of powder that I got a while back. This is actually from a greeting card. And so, yeah, I just make floss tags. And so the way I make them, I make a bigger hole back here, and then 2 smaller holes here for me to put my leftovers on. And so anyway, these are the colors that I got, -1, and I'll explain to you about that in a minute. But let me show you my favorite ones in this order. So, I mean, look at that. This is called Bethlehem. I just think it's beautiful. And then this one right here called Blackberry. No, this is Bordeaux. And this is Blackberry. I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing. You see why that's my favorite. One of my favorites. So, what was I going to say? Oh, I'll put the information about Little Thread Shop down below. I have her February specials that she's got going on. I wish that she had Rainbow Gallery. It looks like she doesn't offer any of that. Let's see. She sent me her price list for, okay, so I guess starting in September 2022, these are her price lists. Her price list on different flosses. She's got MPI, she's got Thread Gatherer, she's got Gloriana, Vineyard, Dinky Dyes, Caron's. And so her normal price on the Weeks is $1.95. And so even at that slightly, 20 cents more a skein price, it still was cheaper to get it from her than it is through the club at Fat Quarter Shop. So I've given up my spot in that club. And like I said, I'm just going to order $50 worth every month and a half or 2 months or something like that. So when I ordered, one thing came in that I had not ordered in place of something that I had ordered, which was completely fine. It was a green that I already had, but, you need greens in your stash, so I wasn't upset at all. But I did reach out to her to let her know for her inventory purposes that, she had, sent the wrong, she had sent Tarragon in place of Bashful. And so, I told her, don't worry about sending me Bashful. I'll just add it on my next order, no big deal. I just want you to know in case you've got, for inventory. And she wrote back and said, I've stuck the Bashful in the mail to you. And so I wrote back and said, you didn't have to do that, but thank you. So I got Bashful in the mail today. And it's just this really subtly variegated white and like sort of pinky peachy color. Real pretty. So I definitely recommend her, and like I said, I'll have the information on her below. The way it works, if you don't order from her eBay shop, you send her an email with the things that you want to order, and then she sends you a PayPal invoice. You pay her, and then you don't get shipping notification or anything, but you know, it gets to you pretty fast. At least that was my experience. She's in Michigan, and I'm in Alabama, so if you go to her eBay shop, she does have some large packs of overdyes that, you know, come out pretty, I want to say it's comparable to what her sale price was this month. But, you know, it's a big pack, and so you have to spend a lot of money at one time. And so I just wasn't prepared to do that. So I'm just going to order them, you know, in smaller quantities. Okay, so I'm waiting on an order from 123stitch. They finally got some Zweigart white in, and I did buy a yard of white so that I can do some dyeing. And I ordered a couple of other things for my stash that I needed. One of the rainbow gallery threads that I ordered the wrong color on for my Shannon Christine ornaments. I ordered some black bashful linen that's for the botanical gardens, which is the piece that I was supposed to start this month and didn't. So just a couple of little, I don't remember what all I ordered, but I got some things, you know, I got some things coming. So I think they're supposed to be here tomorrow. I didn't mention when I talked about the Bluebird piece last time, I'm doing that piece in honor of my dad. This is his birthday month. And the reason why I'm doing that piece in honor of him was that he had built us a Bluebird house. And he built that after we moved up here because we would write home to him in these little, it was like a diary letter. Like I would write one, the girls would each write one, and we sent them home to relatives. So, you know, I shared about how I loved bluebirds. I had never seen them before and moved up here and just fell in love with them. And one day when we went home, one trip home, he had made us a bluebird box. So that was the reason why I'm doing that bluebird piece in honor of him. But I forgot to mention that, you know, these diary letters, like, this was something that we moved to Alabama in 2003. 2003, yes. It's 20 years this year. It'll be 20 years in November. It's just kind of crazy. But, you know, that's how long ago these diary letters were written. And when my dad passed away in August of 2020 and we were going through his things, my brother said, hey, here, this is for you. And it was a bag that he had kept all of our diary letters from that long ago in this bag. And it just, he had several things, like he had cards that I had given him, you know, when I was in high school. My older brother had, I guess, went to visit him for Father's Day one year, and he wasn't home, and he didn't have anything other than a napkin to write a note to him on. And so he wrote in pencil on a napkin, you know, Happy Father's Day, Pops, or something like that. And, you know, my dad kept that napkin. So I just never realized how sentimental he was at all. And, you know, he definitely was polar opposite with his second wife than what he was with my mom. I don't know why. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit, you know, that my mom didn't get that part of him, but I think my mom leaving him really made him wake up. And and he kind of changed a lot after that. And so, you know, but his second wife, like, you know, I'd see cards on their refrigerator and stuff, you know, when I go over there, and he was, you know, these romantic greeting cards, you know, from my dad to his wife, and I just didn't realize that he was as sentimental as he was. So I thought that was really, you know, neat, and I didn't even think about sharing that with you guys last week when I was talking, or last video when I was talking about the diary letters. Okay, so the last weekend was wipgo weekend, this past weekend, and so I spent Saturday and Sunday working on my wipgo pieces for the month. I met my goal of 500 stitches on one of the pieces, which is Antique Beauty. And let's see, gotta figure out what I did with it. Well, oh, fell on the floor. Okay, so this is a kit that I got from a company to review on my channel. I don't know how long ago it was, but it's not a company that I will promote again on my channel because they have issues with copyright infringement, and I didn't realize that to the extent that, you know, kind of like thought maybe, and then I realized, you know, they would send me more emails and say, hey, you know, do you want to collaborate again? And I'd go to their site, and it was like they had some of Shannon Christine's patterns on there, which I know, you know, was not authorized. And so anyway, they sent me this kit, and I am going to stitch it. It's not my favorite thing to stitch on because it's on 11 count Aida, and it's very stiff. Now, it will get softer as time goes on, but I think also I need to change the needle. Even though I have to use 3 strands of floss, I don't think the needle needs to be quite as large and thick as what they put in the kit. And so that really, it really made my fingers really sore. And so I worked on this on Saturday. I got the 500 stitches in on it. But my piece on Sunday that I worked on, I only got 360 stitches in it, so I wasn't able to get my goal met. But I have all year long to meet the goal, so I'm good. But the piece that I stitched on Sunday was Sampler Hope. And this is from Stitches Through the Years. When I film this or photograph it, it just doesn't capture how it looks in person. It's just beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. Like, it doesn't pick up, this fabric has a really subtle, like pink to it, like, you know, a blush, like real subtle blush. And it just doesn't show up on camera. It's 40 count lamb's wool from xstitch Designs is what I'm using to stitch on. So I'm definitely using 1 strand of floss. And honestly, at this point, I don't know how many of the flosses that I'm using are actually the called for. So many of the ones that I had my dye lot was not right. It didn't look like the picture, and so I had to change quite a bit. I want to say that the only maybe 2 that I'm using that were called for are these 2 right here. Old Purple Paint and Stepping Stone. I know this is for sure. I don't know about this one, but the rest of them I've just had to go in my stash and pull. So I did add basil from my order from Little Thread Shop. I did make a change in doing the letters and then this little thing right here, this little swirl divider. Those were called for to be stitched in 37.99 DMC. I'm using the Gentle Art Brown Bear. I needed a slightly different light pink to add this past time when I stitched, and so I pulled Chablis out and added it to these other two, which are Little Pink Peony and Miss Madeline from Classic Colorworks. That's the brown bear. Let me see, I'm using Sage as one of the greens. Wagon Wheel for the vine. And then Purple Haze is another one of the purples that I'm using on the blossoms. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So I definitely will, you know, get those extra 140 stitches into this piece. And then when it's called again on my wipgo board this year, it'll get another 500. So my wipgo board, what I did is I put 12 different sort of larger, medium-sized to larger whips on my board twice, and each time they're called, they get 500 stitches. That's my goal. Okay, and so that's what I did last weekend. Then this Monday, I started stitching again on Elizabeth Weston, which is my my BAP from Hands Across the Sea. I'm not going to even try to show you the whole thing by holding it up. I'm just going to insert a picture of the whole thing. To date. And show you where I've been stitching. So I did have to frog right here, just a little bit of frogging. And then it's not quite like it calls for in the pattern. There's one less row of stitching on the bottom of the tree. And then this is a little shorter than it's meant to be in the pattern. And that's just from, you know, my count being off somewhere. That's just going to stay eternally off because I'm not changing it. It's fine. So I still haven't done any more on this little over one bird. I just realized that earlier. And then there's another little motif that's right here. That's on the page that, you know, this is on. But I think I'm going to jump over to the border next. I haven't stitched on the border in quite a while because I've been, you know, stitching from border to border along the sides. So it's been quite a while since I was over here, you know, went all the way across and then got over here. So it's like many, many months since I've stitched on the border. So if I don't start Stronger Together today, I will work on the border on this, and then she'll go away until March. So this is stitched on a 36 count Zweigart linen that Devin FL on Instagram hand dyed for me specifically for this piece. I'm using the called for DMC flosses with one strand. Really wish I could have afforded to get the silks, but I just wasn't able to. So I just love it. And you know, we always underestimate how much stitching we have to do, right, as cross stitchers. I mean, I look at it and go, oh my gosh, I only have this much, you know, to go. But I mean, I'm more than halfway. Probably more like 2/3 done. I'm gonna say 2/3, maybe even close, like between 2/3 and 3/4 done. So that's my estimation anyway. That is what I stitched on this week. That's it. That's all I've got to share with you guys. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll come back to visit next time I put one up. We'll have a trip to share on next video. My husband and I are going to Atlanta next weekend to take in a play and to visit my younger brother Lucas and his husband Gael. I went to visit them last year in April. It's crazy that it's been almost a year, and I really enjoyed my time with them. And so I'm glad that I'm getting to go back again this year, and you know that Michael's coming with me. So when I get, you know, next time I do my video, that will include, you know, things from my trip, and so information from my trip. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, let you get back to, or go on to the next floss tuber that you like to watch. I hope you get lots of stitching in this week, and I hope you have a good couple of weeks ahead. I appreciate you guys. See you later. Bye.